Hi, it's Toby from Skool. In this session we're going to be looking at the way in which language works. In the background you'll probably hear my old dog snoring. Apologies for that, but he needs to sleep. In this session we're going to be looking at the way in which language works. So language is a code, it's a system of representation, and it's a really complicated code, and in order to access it and understand it, really you need a system or a code breaking strategy at least. So I aim to teach you that code breaking strategy. Before I do that, I just want to talk a little bit about the fact that language is a system of representation. So if we take the word fish, it's important to recognise that that is just a word. It is not an animal. When we look in our fish tank at home, we do not see the letters F-I-S-H swimming around, but rather we see the animal. So the word is intended to represent the thing. And albeit simply, this is how much of our language works. In the word fish, you can hear the water. It's also possible to recognise that this animal is quick and perhaps simple by the nature of the monosyllabic structure of the word. Now, this is a simplification, but it is worth recognising that the sound and structure of words in our language have a meaning all of their own. So to demonstrate this, I'd like to tell you a story which is a complete fiction, and it's designed to show you how language came about. So many years ago, there are two cavemen, or many years ago, there were two cavemen standing by a lake, and as yet they did not have a word for a fish. And suddenly they see some splashing on the surface of the water, and one of them notices the animal and points to it and says to his friend, "Phew." And his friend imitates and repeats the sound, "Phew." And they do this, we can imagine, back and forth for perhaps 4 or 5 hours, until one of them says very clearly, "Fish." And although a nonsense, that really is how language, or how much of our language, came to be, condensed in a pretty silly story. But it's important to recognise that the sound and the shape of that word have a function. So my system, image, shape, sound, is designed to help you recognise some aspects of sound, recognise some aspects of structure, and eventually some aspects of image, so that you've always got a plan, you always know what to write down. How many of us, when taking an exam, are asked a question and we don't know how to begin? We don't know what to write, we don't know what our teacher wants us to say. My system will give you a plan for every question that you're asked in English. Next time we're going to be looking in more depth again at the system, image, shape, sound, but specifically looking at the image, which is perhaps the most complicated part of our English language. But before I go, again, language is a system of representation, and it's made up of 3 very important parts: image, shape, sound. And every word utilises sound. Every word utilises structure. So when you're analysing language, when you're exploring a text, those are the things to watch out for. And in these sessions, I'm going to be telling you what those things are. And eventually it's going to lead to a really complete and very easy to follow, step-by-step code-breaking system that's going to enable you to get the very best grades in your GCSE. Please like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on our session on image. See you next time.